Good morning, everybody, and welcome to week 5. So, week 5, we're going to, in essence, be diving straight into solving one step, multi step inequalities and equations. So, in essence, we're tying together everything we've learned for the past 2 weeks. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. I know y'all can do fantastic. Remember that solving equations is one of the most basic skills we need to master for 8th grade. So I know once you start next year, this skill has to be, pretty strong. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive into it for today. So first and foremost, let's start off with a quote. So the quote says, "Children must be taught how to think, not what to think." Right? So what does that mean? So it basically just ties into the fact that my job as your teacher is one, yes, obviously to teach you math, but it's being able to know what equations you need to use not only not only in class but outside of class. You need to become self-sufficient, students. You need to be able, you have to be able to figure out equations and what equation to use and how to set it up and how to solve it on your own. For now, I know a lot of students are being very like, you freak out. You're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Guys, I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know this is not easy. It's new, believe me, for a lot of us. But I believe in each and every one of you, and I know each and every one of you has the potential to be extremely successful and to master this content. So I just need y'all, if I could ask you for anything, is just believe in yourself, guys. I've taught you well. You guys have been fantastic throughout the year. So let's go ahead and finish strong, guys. Alright. So with that, let's go ahead and move into question number 1. So question number 1 states that an inequality is modeled using these figures, right? So the circles represent an x, the minus signs represent a -1, and the plus signs represent a +1. So your first step is to set up the equation. If you do not remember how to do that, go ahead and go back to week 4. And week 4, I have the steps for that. So we're going to dive straight into making the equation. So in looking at this model, we notice that we have 3x plus -3 is less than +3. So we write that equation down. In solving any equation, your first step is to always combine like terms. In this case, we don't have any, so we're just going to go straight into isolating our variable, right? So that means to remove the constant. So your constant number, remember, is always the number that is added or subtracted from the coefficient and variable. So it's on the left-hand side in this case, all right? So we have to do the opposite of -3. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. In doing so, that's going to remove the constant. It's going to make it disappear. It's going to cancel it out. And we're going to be left with 3x is less than 6. Right? Plus 3 minus 3 goes out to 0. So our next step is we need to solve for the variable. So we're going to divide both sides by the coefficient. So in this case, the coefficient is the number next to the variable, which is 3. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we're going to get the solution of 2. So that's our answer. Okay. Whenever we get an answer, we always need to check, double check, triple check to make sure that it is correct. So in order to divide, we're going to go ahead and, in order to determine if the solution is correct, we're going to go ahead and substitute it back in. So we will get the equation of 3x minus 3 is less than 3. When we do that, we're going to go ahead and substitute in our answer. So if we got 2 as our x, we're going to substitute that in. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and solve. So we're going to have 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 3 is less than 3. Where did that 13 come from? It was supposed to be a 3. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know where that 1 came from. So yeah, so it's supposed to be less than 3. And 6 minus 3 is going to give us 3. So that gives us the rationale that our value, in order for it to be less than 3, has to be any number less than 2. Alright? So, in this equation, we have 3 is less than 3. Well, that's not true. So that means that when we pick a value for x, the number has to be less than 2, which includes 1.99999 infinite times, but the number has to be less than 2. If not, we're going to get a value that is equal to, and that is not the sign we have. All right? So this only further emphasizes that our answer is correct. Okay? So for this value, the answer is x is less than 2, and the rest of the answers are incorrect. Okay? Number 2 says that a larger number is 30 more than a smaller number x. The larger number is 50. What is the smaller number? Well then, okay. So a larger number is 30 more than a smaller number. So we need to set up our equation, of course. But creating your equation, I always work it from the beginning to the end. In this case, you're going to get it to be, we're solving for a number. We don't know what the larger number is. So I gave it its own value. Or a variable. I gave it to the letter y. So it says that y is equal to a smaller number, which is x, plus 30. Okay, so it's 30 more than a smaller number. So 30 more than x. So I wrote y equals x plus 30. Okay, I substituted in that 50 for the y because I already know the value. So it's 50 is equal to x plus 30. So I already know what that larger value is. It's 50. Okay, so now I have to solve for x. Figure out what is the smaller number, right? So isolate your variable, which is remove your constant. In this case is the 30, so I will subtract 30 from both sides to get 20. Okay, so we have our answer is 20. Now that we're done, we're going to go ahead and check our work, of course. So we substitute it back in. Y equals x plus 30. We substitute our value. So we know that x was 20. We add them together, and we're going to get 50 is equal to 50, which is my answer. So that means that my answer is correct, which is step 3. X equals 20. So my answer is 20 for number 2. And that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, don't forget to complete questions 3, 4, and 5. Show me all your work. Don't forget to send me your work. And if you have questions, let me know. All right, guys, good luck. Love y'all.